Empty schools at night are wrong. Not broken wrong, just off. Like something shifted when the last kid left. The hallways that were loud at noon go dead silent by 10. Lockers that slammed all day stand still. Classrooms that held 30 people now hold nothing but shadows. I talked to 3 people who worked in schools after dark: a custodian, a teacher, a night guard. They went in thinking it was just a building, brick and tile and bad lighting, nothing special. They were wrong. What they saw, what they heard, it changed them, made them question things they never thought about. Lights off, headphones in, get comfortable. Here's what happens when schools go dark. The piano room. David took the custodian job at Lincoln Middle School the summer after his divorce. Needed something simple. Show up, clean, go home. The building was old, built in 1958. 3 floors, 2 wings, a gym, and a basement nobody talked about. His shift ran from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., alone. The district cut the budget, so one guy covered the whole school. First 2 weeks were boring. Mop the cafeteria, vacuum the offices, empty the trash in 46 classrooms, wipe down the bathrooms. Same routine every night. He wore earbuds, listened to talk radio, made the hours move faster. The music room was on the 2nd floor, east wing, room 214. It had a baby grand piano that some donor gave the school in the 70s. Beautiful thing, dark wood, ivory keys gone yellow with age. David cleaned that room every night, mopped around the piano, dusted the music stands, never touched the keys, not once. 3rd week, Tuesday, around 1:15 a.m. David was in the west wing, scrubbing marker off a whiteboard. His earbuds died, battery gone. Silence hit him like a wall. Then he heard it. A single piano note, clear, clean, coming from down the hall. He pulled his earbuds out, waited. Another note, then another, slow, like someone pressing keys one at a time, testing them. David grabbed his mop handle and walked toward room 214. The hallway stretched long and dark. Emergency lights made everything orange. His shoes squeaked on the tile. The sound bounced off the walls. The notes kept coming. A pattern now. Not a song exactly, more like someone trying to remember one, playing bits and pieces. He reached the door. It was closed. He always left it open after cleaning. He pushed it open. The piano bench was pulled out, like someone had been sitting there, but the room was empty. David checked behind the piano, checked the instrument closet, checked behind the curtain on the small stage. Nobody. He pushed the bench back in, locked the door, went back to work. Wednesday, 1:20 a.m. Same thing. Notes from room 214. Slow and sad. That same broken melody. He went faster this time, almost jogging. Door was closed again. He'd locked it, had the only key. He unlocked it, pushed it open. Bench pulled out. Room empty. But this time, something new. 3 keys on the piano were pressed down, like invisible fingers held them. He watched them release, slow, one by one. The last key popped up with a soft thud. David backed out of the room, didn't run, wanted to. He called his supervisor from the main office. "Carl, someone's getting into the building. Piano music from room 214. Carl sighed. "That room's been locked since 6. You have the only key." "I know, that's the problem." "Check the windows." All 3 windows shut and latched. 2nd floor. No fire escape on that side. Nobody could get in. Thursday, David brought a cheap trail camera, set it on the bookshelf facing the piano, hit record. locked the room. He cleaned the west wing, waited. 1:17 a.m. The notes started. He let them play. Didn't go in. Just listened from the hallway. The melody was clearer now. A waltz. Something old. Something you might hear in a black and white movie. It played for 6 minutes, then stopped. He got the camera, watched the footage in the main office. At 1:17, the bench slid out, by itself, smooth and slow, like someone pulled it. Then the keys moved, one at a time, pressing down, releasing, playing that waltz. No one was there, no strings, no trick, just keys moving on their own. David watched it 3 times. His hands were shaking. Friday morning, he showed Carl the video. Carl went quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Did anyone tell you about Mrs. Bellamy?" "Who?" "Grace Bellamy, taught music here for 31 years, room 214. Played that piano every day. Kids loved her." "She died in 2003, heart attack. They found her on the piano bench, her head resting on the keys." David felt cold. In that room? On that piano? Carl rubbed his neck. "Other custodians heard it too, years ago. Nobody talks about it. We just figured she wasn't done playing." David finished the school year, cleaned room 214 every night like normal. The music still plays, always around 1:15 to 1:20. Always that same sad waltz. David stopped wearing earbuds. He listens now. Says it's not scary anymore, just lonely. A woman playing for an empty room, a song nobody claps for. He leaves the bench pulled out sometimes. Feels wrong to push it back in, like he'd be telling her to stop. Story 2, The Third Floor Visitor. Megan was 26, first year teaching 4th grade at Garfield Elementary. Old building, red brick, 3 stories. Built in 1941 and barely updated since. Radiators that clanked, windows that stuck, ceiling tiles stained brown from old leaks. Her classroom was on the 2nd floor, room 208. She loved it. Hung posters everywhere, set up reading corners. Megan stayed late a lot, grading papers, prepping lessons, cutting out shapes for bulletin boards. Most teachers left by 4. Megan was there until 7, sometimes 8. The custodian, Ray, worked until 9. He'd wave when he passed. "Still here, Miss Taylor?" She'd laugh. "Almost done." After Ray left, the building locked automatically. Megan had a key card. She could get out through the main entrance. That was it. One Thursday in November, she stayed until 8:30. Parent conferences the next day. She needed everything perfect. Ray popped his head in at 8:45. "Heading out, you good?" 10 more minutes. "All right, lock up behind yourself, main door only." He left. She heard his footsteps fade down the stairs. The side door opened and shut, then nothing. Complete silence. Megan finished her prep, stacked papers, grabbed her bag, turned off the classroom lights. The hallway was dim. Only the emergency strips along the floor gave light. She started walking toward the stairs. That's when she heard the footsteps. Above her, 3rd floor. Someone walking, slow and steady, heel to toe. Megan stopped, held her breath. The steps continued, one end of the hall to the other, then stopped. Megan's heart was pounding. The 3rd floor was storage only. Old desks, broken chairs, boxes of textbooks from the 90s. Nobody went up there. The door was supposed to stay locked. She told herself it was the building. Old buildings make noise. Pipes, wood expanding. She walked faster, got to the stairwell, started going down. Above her, a door creaked open. Third floor stairwell door. Then the footsteps started again. In the stairwell, coming down. Megan ran. She hit the first floor, sprinted down the main hall, slammed her keycard against the reader, and burst through the front door into the parking lot. Cold November air. Her car was right there. She got in, locked the doors, and sat there breathing hard. She looked up at the building. Third floor windows, all dark, except one. Third window from the left. A shape stood there. Dark outline of a person, looking down at her. Megan drove home, didn't look back. Friday morning, she told the principal, Dr. Hodges. He listened with a straight face. Which window? Third from the left, third floor. He nodded slowly. That's room 312. What's in room 312? Dr. Hodges hesitated. Nothing now. It was a classroom until 1987. They closed the third floor after that. After what? Dr. Hodges hesitated. A student went missing. Boy named Kevin Marsh, 9 years old. Class one morning, gone by lunch. Police searched the whole building. Dogs, everything. Did they find him? Not for 3 days. A custodian found him in the ceiling crawl space above room 312. He'd climbed through a loose tile, got stuck, couldn't get back down. Was he okay? Dr. Hodges looked at his desk. No. 3 days with no water in a space that small. It was August. The heat up there was too much. Megan felt sick. They sealed the ceiling access points and closed the floor. Too much grief. But I saw someone in the window. I know, Dr. Hodges said. You're not the first. Megan changed her routine, left by 5, never stayed past dark. But for a few weeks, she'd glance up at the third floor, walking to her car. Always dark. Except once. A Wednesday in December, just before sunset. Room 312. Third window from the left. A small handprint on the glass, from the inside. It wasn't there the day before. Nobody had been up there in years. Megan stopped looking after that, transferred schools the following fall. She thinks about Kevin Marsh sometimes, a 9-year-old boy stuck in a ceiling, calling for help that never came. She wonders if he's still calling. And she wonders who walks those halls at night, looking for a way out that doesn't exist. The Night Watch. Jerome got the security guard job at Westbrook High after 15 years in the Army. Needed something calm, something routine. The school board hired private security after a string of break-ins. Copper thieves targeting old buildings. Westbrook was built in 1952, full of old wiring, old pipes, old everything. Jerome worked 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., alone. One radio, one flashlight, one set of keys that opened every door. His job was simple. Walk the building twice a night, check all entry points. Westbrook was massive, 4 wings, a gym, an auditorium, a pool that had been drained 10 years ago, and a basement that ran the full length of the building. The basement was the worst. Low ceilings, exposed pipes, a boiler that groaned like a living thing, a long tunnel connecting the main building to the gym. Jerome wasn't scared easily. The Army takes care of that. But the basement made his skin crawl. The air down there felt too still, too heavy. First month was quiet, just him and the building. Then December hit. First week, Tuesday night, midnight round. Second floor, west wing. A locker slammed, hard, like someone threw it shut. Jerome aimed his flashlight down the hall. Empty. He checked every locker, all closed, nobody there. He radioed dispatch. Westbrook, Loud noise, second floor west. All clear so far. Copy. Need backup? Negative. Building settling. Wednesday. Same time, same wing. 2 lockers slammed. Bang, bang. Jerome ran toward the sound. Nothing. But 2 lockers at the end of the row were open. Just those 2. Every other one shut. He closed them, kept moving, but his hands were tight on the flashlight. Thursday, Jerome skipped the second floor and went straight to the basement. The tunnel to the gym was 400 feet long. Concrete walls, fluorescent lights that buzzed and flickered. Halfway down, his flashlight caught something on the floor. Footprints. Wet footprints. Bare feet. Leading from the old pool toward the main building. Fresh. The edges hadn't dried. Jerome called dispatch. Westbrook, wet footprints in the tunnel. Bare feet. Someone's inside. Copy. Police en route. Stay put. He didn't stay put. He followed the prints. Through the tunnel, up the basement stairs, to the first floor hallway. Then they stopped. Like whoever made them vanished. The floor was dry from that point on. Police came, 2 officers, searched the whole building, 45 minutes. Nobody. Every door locked, every window shut. No signs of entry. One officer looked at the prints. These came from the pool? Yeah, Jerome said. Pool's been empty for 10 years. They walked to the pool room. Jerome unlocked it. The pool was empty. Cracked tiles at the bottom. Thick layer of dust on the deck. Except near the shallow end ladder. The dust was disturbed. Wet marks on the edge. But there was no water. The pool was bone dry. The officers looked at each other, wrote their report, left. Next day, Jerome asked the maintenance guy, Phil, anyone ever drown in that pool? Phil put down his coffee. Why? Wet footprints, bare feet, coming from the pool. Phil was quiet for a minute. 1991, Danny Rourke, 16 years old, swim team practice. Coach left for 5 minutes. Danny hit his head on the diving board, went under. Nobody saw. He drowned? By the time the coach came back, it was too late. They drained the pool that year. Too much grief. Jerome stared at him. Nobody thought to tell the night guy? Phil shrugged. It's just a pool. It's not just a pool, Phil. Jerome kept the job 8 more months. The footprints showed up 2 more times. Always bare feet, always wet, always ending at the first floor. He never saw anyone, never caught a shadow on camera, just the prints, just the sounds. He quit in August, took a daytime warehouse job. Told his wife once, late at night when they couldn't sleep. You think it was the kid? She asked. I think it was something that used to be a kid. She held his hand. I think he's still swimming, Jerome said, in water that's not there anymore. And when practice is over, he walks to class. Every night, same route. He paused. But class is empty. Nobody's there to tell him it's been 30 years. Nobody's there to tell him he can stop. Jerome sleeps with the TV on now, needs the noise, because in the quiet he hears wet footsteps on tile. Always bare feet, always heading somewhere they'll never arrive. 3 schools, 3 workers, 3 shifts they'll never forget. David still listens to that waltz every night. A dead woman's fingers on keys she can't let go. Megan left Garfield behind, but Kevin Marsh is still up there, room 312, a boy who never found his way down. Jerome hears the footsteps when it's too quiet. Danny Rourke still walks those halls, still dripping, still heading to a class that ended decades ago. Empty schools are not empty. The lights go off, but something stays, pressed into the walls, soaked into the floors. Memories that don't know their memories. Teachers, custodians, security guards. They see it. They hear it. They don't talk about it much. Who would believe them? but they know. When the bell rings and everyone goes home, something else clocks in. This is Akumu Tales. Lock your doors, trust your gut, and if you ever find yourself in a school after midnight, listen close. You might hear a waltz, small footsteps, wet feet on tile. You might hear the ones who never left. The building remembers them, even if no one else does.